Friends, listen to this story carefully, because it might change the way you look at life. There was once a young man named Ravi. He lived in a small town surrounded by mountains and dreams that felt just as distant. Ravi was an average student, from an average family, with an average life, but his thoughts were far from average. Unfortunately, they weren't positive either. Every time something went wrong, Ravi would say, "Why does this always happen to me?" If he failed a test, he'd think, "I'm just not smart enough." If he saw someone succeed, he'd whisper, "They're lucky, I'm not." And slowly, these thoughts became his reality. He started avoiding challenges. He stopped trying new things because he believed he would fail anyway. His world shrank to the size of his fears. One evening, while sitting on the edge of the town's riverbank, Ravi met an old man named Kabir, who was sketching the sunset. Kabir was known in town as the man who never seemed to worry. He had lost his wife years ago, faced business failures, and lived a simple life, yet he always had a calm smile on his face. Seeing him, Ravi couldn't help but ask, "Sir, how can you stay so peaceful all the time? Don't you ever get tired of life's problems?" Kabir smiled, looked at the river, and said, "Son, do you see this river? It flows around rocks, under bridges, over mud, but it never stops flowing. That's the power of direction and belief." Ravi frowned, not fully understanding. Kabir continued, "When you fill your mind with negative thoughts, you build rocks inside your own river. You stop your own flow. But when your thoughts are positive, you find a way around every obstacle." Ravi thought deeply about these words, but like many of us, he soon forgot them and went back to his usual life. A few months later, Ravi's father lost his job. The family's financial situation became worse. Ravi wanted to help, but all he could think was, "I can't do anything. I'm useless." He spent days feeling helpless, angry, and sad. One day, while walking home, he saw Kabir again, this time repairing a broken chair outside his small hut. Ravi sat beside him and shared everything, his worries, his pain, his hopelessness. After listening quietly, Kabir handed him a small seed. "Plant this in your backyard," Kabir said. "It's a bamboo seed. But remember, it won't grow quickly. You'll water it every day for years without seeing anything above the soil. But beneath, its roots are growing deep and strong. When it's ready, it will shoot up higher than any other plant. Your mind works the same way." Ravi looked at the seed and asked, "So you're saying I should just keep believing, even if I see no results?" Kabir smiled, "Yes, because growth doesn't always show immediately. It begins in silence, in your thoughts, in your faith, in your attitude." Ravi decided to follow Kabir's advice. Every morning, he watered the seed. And every time a negative thought appeared, "I can't, it's impossible, nothing's working," he replaced it with a new one. "I'll try, it will take time, something good is coming." He began helping his mother sell handmade baskets in the market. At first, people ignored him, and sales were low. But Ravi didn't give up. He smiled at every customer, added small decorations to make the baskets look better, and soon, people began noticing. His positivity became contagious. Other vendors started asking for his help. Within months, their small stall became one of the most visited in the market. Ravi started saving money and learned how to promote their products online. He didn't know much about the internet, but his new mindset made him fearless. He said to himself, "If others can learn, so can I." Step by step, failure by failure, he grew. And just like the bamboo seed, his roots of resilience were getting stronger. One night, a fire broke out in the market. All their stock burned down in minutes. Ravi watched his hard work turn to ashes. For a moment, the old voice inside whispered again, "See, you worked so hard for nothing, you're back to zero." But then, he remembered Kabir's words, "The river never stops flowing." He closed his eyes and said, "This time, I won't let my thoughts defeat me." The next morning, he gathered a few of his friends and started rebuilding the stall from scratch. He apologized to his customers online and promised to come back stronger. To his surprise, people started supporting him. Some donated money, others helped spread the word. Why? Because people are drawn to positive energy. They could see his determination, his belief, his hope, and they wanted to be a part of it. Within a few months, his business came back bigger than ever. Ravi started an online store and began shipping baskets nationwide. He hired other local artisans who were struggling, turning his small dream into a growing company. Years later, Ravi returned to the same riverbank where he had first met Kabir. The old man was gone now, but his words lived forever in Ravi's heart. He sat by the water, now successful, confident, and peaceful, and whispered, "You were right, master. The mind really is like a river. When it flows with positivity, it finds its way through everything." He then looked at the tall bamboo tree in his backyard, the one that took years to grow. It stood strong and tall, just like him. Friends, this story isn't just about Ravi. It's about you. Every one of us has moments when life feels unfair. We fail, we lose, we fall. But remember, the power of a positive mind can change everything. When you say, "I can't," your brain stops looking for solutions. But when you say, "I'll find a way," your brain starts working for you. Positive thinking doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing hope when everything looks hopeless. It means seeing the seed beneath the soil and trusting that one day, it will rise. Your thoughts are powerful. They shape your emotions, your actions, and eventually, your destiny. You attract what you think about most, so if you think failure, you attract fear. But if you think success, you attract courage. So, from this moment, decide to be like Ravi. No matter what happens, believe that something good is always on its way. Wake up and tell yourself, "Today, I choose positivity." When things go wrong, say, "This is not the end, this is a new beginning." And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that your positive mindset was the most powerful tool you ever had. Because life doesn't change when circumstances change, life changes when you change. So, friends, remember, your mind is like that river, let it flow with positivity. And soon, you'll see how it carves a beautiful path through every obstacle. Moral: a positive mind doesn't make life easy, but it makes it possible. It turns doubt into belief, problems into lessons, and dreams into reality. So keep believing, keep moving, and never forget, your thoughts create your world.